Greetings everyone and a warm welcome. Hey, thank you guys for joining me for June's tarot readings for all the signs. This is just a general introduction to talk a little bit about how we are working for the month. So we're going to be using these three cards in front of you, 3 cards from each deck, and then one Keeper of the Light card at the end of the reading as well. Now, I have spent a bit of time with each independent sign working out some intuitive messages for you all, and you will each be delivered that at the beginning of your reading as well. I have chosen to use 2 fairy decks this time in the month's reading. I don't know why. It feels as though there needs to be a degree of warmth and positivity inspired into the readings. It feels as though there might be some sort of activation from Mother Earth or Gaia in the month of June. There does feel to be a little bit of tumultuous energies around from the messages that I have already pre-received and recorded for each of your individual signs. So I don't know what June is got in its mind, but it feels quite a feisty month with quite a lot of energy around it, some of which you might all have to be a bit cautious with and be eyes open type thing. Greetings Pisces, a warm welcome to you all. Namaste. Hey, thanks for joining me for your reading for June 2018. Now, before we start with the cards, I have a few messages for you that were derived intuitively. So we see the number 9, and it actually kind of came up twice while I was working with you. So that's sort of about endings. So perhaps some sort of projects or issues or feelings or energies around you are starting to wind up or come to an end. So possibly the end of a certain journey or direction in life for you guys. And now, there could be a bit of stress involved. Often that is the case when we end journeys and head into the new beginnings. But the thing is, you could be worrying about things far more than you need to be. So things could actually turn out better than you think, or turn out the other way than you're imagining them. It did say to don't trust everyone and to check all your facts on things that you might be wanting to uplift or look into or purchase or buy. So focus on success with the keywords, not anything else. If there is somewhere you may be looking for, or something that you may be looking for, you might find success at some point. But there are words of caution around you and definitely endings and heading into new beginnings. So let's see what the cards are going to say in comparison to all those words there. So this is for Pisces for June 2018. So just let me focus on you while I get these energies in here. Three cards from here. The 8 of Pentacles, the 8 of Swords. Well, we had 2 9s and now we've got 2 8s, and the Ace of Swords. So let's see what comes out next from the Oracle energy cards. The 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel, that's on the top of the crown chakra, on the top of your head, walking away, and Yin Yang with balance. And we will see what these last cards are, the fairy cards. And I think I have them upside down. It doesn't really matter. They're oracle cards. Connect with nature. Debt paid off, that's nice. and goodbye to the old and hello to the new. So it is very much, sorry that the camera was so far forward, I wasn't aware of that initially. The cards are reiterating a lot of the words that I said. Interestingly, when I said we had the number 9 come up twice and we've got the number 8, so we're very close in duplication there. We're heading towards the end of a cycle with those numbers 8 and 9 anyhow. I do tend to read down the columns, but as I've said to others, the readings are very open and they're very mutable, and you can chop and change messages as suits your needs and requirements. So sometimes you might see a message attached to a card up here and it might really blend in well with something down here. So the 8 of Pentacles is actually, I like the card. It's a traditional card of good solid morals and ethics and hard work and value, determination and success. So I'll read what she says here. On her words, she says, do more research before proceeding, education in the form of seminars, going back to school or apprenticeships, excellent craftsmanship and long-term projects. So she talks very much about the fact that it's a work in progress and that your hard work and effort that you put into things will be rewarded in the end or as time moves on. And we sort of mentioned that you are coming towards the end of this journey or project or epic part of something you've been doing, possibly studies or being promoted or looking for promotion within a career or jumping up the ladder career-wise, or even relationship-wise. Perhaps you're taking relationships to a new level, or perhaps you're moving some relationships out and beyond where they don't need to be anymore. I do sometimes think with the 8 of Pentacles that I feel money is generally okay. This sometimes is a symbol of the fact that you may have invested quite well, or that you may be reaping a little bit of reward for your hard work. So sometimes this can mean things such as enjoyment of the funds that you have accrued. So you might enjoy spending it or investing it or having pleasure with some money one way or another. There could even be a slight increment coming your way from a dividend or a pay rise or a new job or a loan or even a gift of some type. The other thing with the 8 of Pentacles I often think of is that there can sometimes be something wrong with the lower part of our body, such as the sacral or base chakra areas. So that's the lower spine, hips, thighs, anything to do with your eating and intestines and bowel, as well as your legs, thighs and the bottom of your back, even kidney pain actually through that type of area. So some of you might feel blockages in that part of your body. It might be prudent to do something about freeing energy up around that part of your area. Remember too that those are the chakras that sort of organize or have the main injection of energy around things such as our home, family, friends, finances, wealth and creativity. So they're well worth having free flowing. We come down here to the 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel, and that's up in the top of the head. So the complete other end of the chakra system is being activated one way or another. Now again, this brings to mind some of you may have headaches or eye aches or things going on in your head. Pisceans, you are really, really tuned into the psychic perspective of life. There's very much that's part of how you guys work. So a lot of you could be very connected to that esoteric feeling at the moment. So you might have increased dream capacity, you might be receiving messages or hearing from the spirit world one way or another, you might be receiving extremely strong synchronistic events that are going on in your life. Any of these things that might be happening, it would pay great dividends to listen to any advice that's coming in, because it could be clues on ways forward for you in any areas of your life. So if you're looking for an answer around a particular subject matter, look out for synchronistic events. Look out and listen to special messages from spirit. And they can be simple things like picking up a feather that falls in your pathway as you're walking somewhere, or seeing or hearing an advertisement on radio that just seems to be talking specifically to you about the thing that you have on your mind, a TV program that comes on that gives you an answer, a song on the radio, a number plate on cars. Now they're really fascinating to actually tune into. You can sometimes ask a question, anything, it can be even silly or mundane, and you can say to the universe, guys, I want an answer. Show me a number plate before the end of the day that gives me an answer about something. And you'll be surprised at the bizarre number plates that you'll come across. It can be a sort of a fun game more than anything, just to keep you involved with and tuned into your synchronistic opportunities that are going on around you on a daily basis. So very much about that type of thing. Uriel is also a very good high angelic vibrational energy to take into business meetings, talks or conciliations. She's very helpful in that realm. And we come down here to connect with nature, and it says you're rejuvenated and inspired by spending time outdoors. And of course, for the Northern Hemisphere, it is summer up there, and I'm sure many people spend much time outdoors. It is truly my favourite time of the year. I'm a real summer lover. I love being outdoors with those long summer evenings, you know. So long days and short summer nights. To me, it's bliss and euphoria. So I'm sure that being outdoors and connecting with nature is actually beneficial for every single one of us, but they're giving you that message even more so during the month. So enjoy it, connect with it. Beaches, forests, rivers, mountain tops, anywhere outdoors, gardens, you know, waterfalls, bodies of water are very good as well, because they kind of re-energize us with their activation and their flow too. So we come up here and we see the Eight of Swords. Now I'll read you the words from that, and I'll just try and focus on the back cards a little bit for you. You have what it takes if only you believe in yourself. Thinking that you're powerless when you're not. A lack of self-confidence that keeps you from getting what you want. So the Eight of Swords is traditionally on the Rider-Waite deck, the lady that is surrounded by the swords and she's blindfolded and she can't see a way out. It often turns up when we feel a little bit of anxiety and when we're stuck in a rut and we can't quite see the next step forward. It is definitely a lack of self-confidence, a lack in believing in your own abilities, or perhaps a lack in believing in your intuitive self, which is what Archangel Uriel was over here helping you do. So remember to tap into your gut instincts, into your intuition, into your synchronistic messages that are coming. They can all help instill some sort of freedom for you around making decisions and being able to have confidence in what you feel is right for you. And remember that's really important. If it feels right, then it's most likely going to be right, even for a certain period of time. If it feels as though the decision you're making is not balancing with you somewhere, it's either making you anxious or you're going, oh, you know, but should I or could I or should I do this other thing, then that's probably not the right decision. Generally, we feel quite inwardly, we feel quite calm when we've made the correct decision. We may still want to, you know, sort of balance it back and forth and say, oh, what about the other, or what about this? But you still know deep down that you think you've made the right choice. So always go back inner when you need to. If you're feeling anxious, go back within and seek out what it is that will make you feel more calm and more grounded and more strong about the direction you're taking. And remember, this can be anything. So health, relationships, career, creative abilities, anything in life, spiritual perspectives and aspects, anything. It does say here to walk away from something. So there might be a degree of turning your back on something that's making you anxious. Now this could even be people or relationships, or possibly career. Some of you might even be contemplating a big move, like a change somewhere to a different country or to a different type of career or relationship that's going on, and you're thinking, wow, I'm really stifled here, I just can't quite see the open path. Well, there's no doubt that you're turning your back on something. And this is where we got the feeling of bringing in the new. And of course we've got this down here with the goodbye old and hello new. So take your time and don't panic. Don't force yourself into something until you're ready. Try and look at the bigger picture. And I don't mean a year in advance to try and imagine what it might be like in a year. I just mean try and broaden your perspective of what you're looking at. Sometimes if we narrow it down, like looking down a telescope or a microscope, we see only a small amount of the broader perspective, and then we become confused because we can't see what's around the corner. So it's like looking on Google Maps when you're looking on your iPhone or something, and if you zoom into that exact one point where you're meant to be going, let's say it's 10 Smith Street, and you've Google mapped it and it shows you the building, you still don't know how to get there until you move back further and see the roads that take you there, and see what turns you have to make before it, and see how long it's going to take to get you there. So that's what I mean about broadening your perspective. When you step back a bit, it doesn't seem as daunting. You can figure it out more. So just remember that when you're walking away from something, you don't need to feel all the anxiety. And for some of you, it feels, this is a wonderful card, debt paid off. The old weight and habit of debt is lifted from you and your life. Well, I haven't seen that card turn up once at all in months and months. So some of you are feeling this relief of money one way or another, and we set it up here possibly with this Eight of Pentacles. So you might find some sort of respite in money. Perhaps if you own a business, you might have creditors or your debtors or something being paid off, or people coming to you and uplifting more work from you. Perhaps if you have been out of a job, you might get the offer of work one way or another. Perhaps there's been a relief on your financial burdens in the temporary form of a mortgage relief. Or perhaps you've remembered you had some shares that you had invested in a few years back and you're cashing them in. There's a lot of different ways that debt can be paid off, and if we again broaden our horizon and expand our thinking, there is probably a way out of the situation. So I think it's very positive. There's a lot of nice positive messages for you. And if we come over here, we have the Ace of Winter, or the Ace of Swords. And it says, don't be deterred by challenges along the way. It's important to communicate clearly and accurately. Amazing new ideas that should be implemented. So that connects really well with Uriel and this communication and thoughts, because when the thoughts come through your crown chakra or into your mind, the next step then is communicating them outward so that you are successful in your endeavours and your communications with other people and any collaborations that you are wanting to be involved in. This card can often turn up when new enterprises are taking place, but often at the cost of something. So we can see this card perhaps turn up when there's a divorce pending or a separation of sorts. This can also be the separation or folding up or closing up of a business partnership. So perhaps a few people or two people have been involved in a business together, and it might be time to end it for one reason. Perhaps one partner is leaving, or perhaps the business wasn't successful enough to keep it sustained and ongoing. But usually when it occurs, the card turning up in your reading bodes success. So this could be money coming back to you. It could be reparation after a long-standing dispute of some sort. There could be legal documents indicated here, and the signing of something through a legal person such as a lawyer or an accountant. So that's again where money could be coming back from one way or another. It's a positive card, as I say, but usually there's been a bit of a journey to get to this state of positivity. But remember, aces are always about beginnings and starting of a new journey. And it's interesting that we had the two eights, which I talked about, the two nines, and then you've come to the ace, which is the next natural transition or progressional step. We have here the yin and yang underneath it, and that's all about balance, the masculine and feminine of life. And it talks to us that when this card turns up at this time in your life, there may be a degree of balance either coming in or feeling as though there's balance in certain projects or areas. It is a very positive card and it bodes well at many different levels. So galactically, universally, within your spiritual apex body as well. Also your physical body. If any of you have been having times where you have been in or out or up or down or half and half, it feels as though it's now moving back into the full. And this could be the cycle that we were talking about, the ending of a cycle. So this could be very much hormonal, it could be to do with emotional, it could be to do with spiritual, relationships, business, money, anything with the yin-yang card is a possibility. It can do a real service to yourself to focus on the energies of balance and yin-yang and meditate on it and see what type of information you receive from it and what it can lead you into it as a future prospectus, because it is the card of beautiful balance, and balance is difficult to achieve in life. So if we have these opportunities to bring it in, we should utilize it and focus on it and meditate on it. And your last card is goodbye to the old and hello to the new. So again, just reiterating the messages that were at the very beginning, this is a pretty big time of change on the planet, and we're halfway through the year as well in June. So oftentimes the energies now that we move into, taking us into the second half of the year and preparing us towards the end of the year and into the following year. So there's a lot of potential at a halfway point of a year. Some people think it's a bit bland, it's like, we're halfway in, we're neither there nor here. But the reality is that you're starting on the progressive journey forward for the next planning stages of the end of the year and the following year. You've finished one part of your life and now a new and even better part is beginning. So I think this, when we take all of this in this one column, it's very powerful. So something that may have been out of balance in your life, such as a potential relationship imbalance or disharmony, or a business insolvency, or a blockage or a non-creative period, it's all moving on, like it's dissipating. So you're moving back into a period of balance and positivity. So I think that in itself, this column here is really quite rewarding for you guys in your reading. So there we are, Pisces. I hope you have enjoyed this reading. We have one card left to do, so I will put these away here now, and we will see what your Oracle Energy card is. This is for Pisces for 2018, for June. It's this one here. Wow, she's beautiful. Lady Venus, downloads and understanding. And she has this beautiful kind of purpley in the bottom area there, as well as some of the milky white colourings coming in. So let's just... Lady Venus, downloads and understanding. Truth is being revealed. Deep insights are coming from heaven and the astral realm. Well, we kind of understood that when we saw Archangel Uriel and the activation of the crown chakra, and it's very interesting that in this card here there's a great depth of activation around her head and that celestial information coming. So, and that last card even in your reading that said a period of your life is over and change is forthcoming for you. Perhaps for some of you this is a real connection to some spiritual ethos and a growing understanding of your integrity values and your destination in life and where you would wish to be and how you wish to get there. So I think this card in and of itself is quite a deep message for the end of your reading. And as I said, even though it's the middle of the year, don't be fooled by the fact that a lot can go on even halfway through a learning lesson, or as we have acknowledged, for some of you, you're moving into the end of a part of a journey that you've been experiencing, and you are ready to evolve into the new you. So congratulations, Pisces. It is a beautiful reading, and I trust that you've really enjoyed it, and there have been some succinct, warm messages within the reading for each and every one of you. Thanks for liking and subbing the channel and for leaving your comments. I love reading them all. And also, you may as well tune into your moon and rising signs and see what messages are there as well. So thank you all. Have a wonderful, light-filled, knowledge awareness month ahead. Much love. Namaste.